free to type in and say hello. This is kind of fun to see what happens here. I'm just going to take a swig of water. Well, if there aren't any questions, I'm just going to get directly into it. And I guess what I'll do is leave this video up after the fact so that people can chime in with their ideas as well. So here's, excuse me, Henry, here's what I'm thinking. I've been getting a number of requests for remote consultation in the last few months, and that's something that I offer through my website, to be able to do consultations for folks in regards to taking photos of their property and descriptions of what their goals and hopes are, and helping them in a remote way step through the process of developing a design. And for the most part, it works out nicely. I've gotten some feedback from folks that, so I ask $50 an hour for my time with these consultations. And for some folks, that's a little bit tough. And I know if I were to be starting out again from scratch and hoping for help from someone who has experience, $50 an hour for me would have been prohibitive at the time. And even now, I think I probably would not go for that. So, and I also recognize that as a permaculture consultant, $50 an hour is on the lower end of what most people charge. So here's my thought, and this is where I would love to get feedback from others. And again, I would ask, maybe just check in with me here. Is everything coming through clearly, video and audio wise? Just give me a yes if that's the case, or if it's chunky, let me know. My proposal to the community is to get feedback on an idea, good, and see if people have some suggestions of technical support or what have you. Here's the idea. For people that are interested in getting permaculture consultation and support on their garden, their land, etc., that feel as though they can't afford the rate that I normally ask, I'm wondering if there's a way to offer a live consultation with someone. They, of course, it would presume that they're comfortable with their identity being out there and with photos of their land being shown and all that, but that if we use this format of the live streaming to do basically a live consultation with someone, with the idea that you, the audience that are on board while this consultation is happening, can also share your ideas. So that we'd show these photos, we'd show the description of what they're going for, and that as a group, so I can calling it the community consultation, that I would be taking the lead for the most part in offering this consultation to the person, but that folks would be invited to share their ideas as it was going. And this format will launch a channel to the top charts. Yeah, maybe, we'll see. But that the idea is people could donate $1 or $2. I know there's a super chat option where people can chime in with, being able to offer up some money towards things, that we could figure out a way as a group, from a technical standpoint, how to offer these live consultations with me taking the lead, but then other people offering it up. Sorry, it's a little, I'm getting used to the idea as I talk. I see somebody put in a chat and then I get distracted for a moment. So bear with me if I seem a little distracted. I guess I'd love to get feedback from people if that, first and foremost, that seems, if that were to be offered up, would that be compelling content? To basically have these live sessions that are then recorded and available for viewing later on, of consultations with people. Cool. Yeah, for an awesome learning experience. Great. That's great. So I guess what I'll do here is, where does knowledge meet a common ground? I'm not sure if I understand that question, Northern Pike 56. But yeah, the idea of sharing this process with folks. I think it'd also be helpful for me as a permaculture consultant to do these live and basically expose my process to criticism from people and invite criticism on how I go through the process of doing these consultations with people. I'd like to improve my the quality of what I'm offering to people. Bed money. Some of these things, some of these comments, I'm not sure what to do with them. Sorry. And sorry, this is the first time in a while. First of all, say hello. We'll take a break for a moment. This is Old Man Henry. Henry, do you want to say hello to anybody? No? It's funny. For the most part, he could care less what we're doing, except when I'm doing a live stream, all of a sudden he wants to be right here. Anyway, do folks have suggestions of a way to format this or record this or present this? Maybe there's something other than the YouTube live streaming model that people have experience with. In an ideal world, we would be able to see my screen. Maybe there'd be a video corner with me in it, but to be able to see the photos that I'm looking at of this person's property, to be able to see the text of what their goals for the consultation time would be. Versus money, sorry. Cool. Right. Yeah, and I think this would be a great way for people that are interested in getting into doing consultation to see what one permaculture consultant's approach is. As you know, if you watch the videos on this channel, by no means do I, sorry, Henry's, by no means do I consider myself this like great person that really knows what they're doing and all that. But I think it'd just be helpful to offer that up. Sorry, I've been rambling here because we've got a lot going on in the background. No, that's fine. That's great. It's just funny because Henry's been clicking nonstop. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. I don't want to drag it on and on. I guess what I would each live session focus on? Yeah, I think, Andrew, that's the idea at the outset, and I'm really open to getting more feedback from folks. I think the easiest thing to do at the beginning would be to take one person with their site who wants to receive a consultation, wants to have that exchange, make sure they feel fully comfortable doing this live presentation, having it recorded, and then we would do a trial run where it would be a live session. I wouldn't monetize this live stream, but I would ask that if people are finding value from it, that they would donate $1 or $2. I think with enough people watching it and involved in it, it would actually compensate me pretty well for my time. I'm not trying to make big money with it. And so let's see, Gustavo, what's your video editing situation? I use iMovie, really low tech. Here's my production camera for all of the YouTube. Everything Edible Acres comes from this hand-me-down iPhone. And Jordan Johnston, can this work for community gardens and food forests? Absolutely. I think, in fact, groups would be really compelling. Nonprofit groups or places that are trying to grow food for the community food banks, all that kind of stuff. Hello, James. I've been watching your channel for a while. Nice to see you there. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, so it'd be a great way to see what a consultation looks like. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, James. Cool. So let's do this. Maybe what we can do, so I'm not dragging this on too long, I'll say this, just to give some private information or background context. My wife and I both are eligible for Medicaid. That's where our income level is, and we don't really have aspirations to earn much more than that. But so we're basically on the lower end of income. I think we're both really comfortable because we grow a lot of our food, we have our firewood, all that kind of stuff. We're low income people. I would like to offer this first free consultation to someone who's in a similar boat. So if you are eligible for Medicaid, or you're on Medicaid, maybe you're on food stamps, or if you're involved with a not-for-profit agency that's growing food for your community, that would be who I'd like to serve as a first go. So if you're watching this and you think, well, that could be me. I've got a project that's compelling and exciting. I have limited or no income or funds available for consultation, and I'm comfortable having random strangers see what it is that I'm working on and give me feedback. You're the person to try this with. So reach out and let me know. Maybe there's a few people that sign up for this and we can put them in order that we receive them. Let's see, Luke, your question, have you done consults already? Yeah, I've done a lot of consults locally in the central New York area. I've done a whole bunch of consults on the ground with people, and I've done a handful of remote consultations online. Let's see, Dawn, are you on Instagram? They have a live feature where you can also invite someone to appear live with you, and I think you can transfer those vids to YouTube. Okay, yeah, that's a possibility. I guess that would be the other question, is that whoever would be the candidate for this would ideally have an okay internet connection. They'd have to have a video camera and be somewhat technically comfortable to be able to get this connecting. So, and Terry, let's see, trying to figure out guilds and water management with clay soils. Great. Let's do this. Feel free to comment in this video stream and also after the fact. But what I would do is ask folks to send me an email with a description of your project and whether or not you feel like you've met the requested requirements that I have for trying to do this. And you can email me, Sean, S-E-A-N, at edibleacres.org. And just give me a brief description, maybe a couple photographs of your site. I would ask if you're making okay money, you know, lower middle class, or you're past the threshold for Medicaid or food stamps and those sorts of things, and you want consultation, I'm happy to offer it for a fee and all that. We'll just keep that normal. But I'd like to start doing the fair share and the people care portion of the ethics of permaculture and make accessible consultation to people that wouldn't otherwise afford it. And as a group, we can support my time for it or not, and we'll just see what it does. Cool, Tammy, that's a good idea. Moderator that could be reading the incoming chat and help you take note of the ones needing responses. Yeah, this is my first time really doing a live feed, so I'm still getting used to it. I think it's going to be a little awkward no matter what, because it's kind of strange to look at a dot that's glowing and then realize that people are actually watching these things. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. I'd ask at this point, do folks have questions or feedback on the basic idea, some ideas of some technical approaches, or some criticism of the approach fundamentally before I wrap it up? Because I don't want to take everyone's time too long. Uncle Mikey's Crazy Artistic Homestead Madness asks, what does the consultation consist of exactly? And does the video time limit of the consultation matter? Consultation consists of, they're malleable and they are flexible. A lot of times what people will do is email me a series of photographs that describe, for example, a particular garden area that they're trying to develop or that has been really challenging for them. This is really shady, this is too wet, etc. Along with a list of what their goals are. I'd like to grow these crops, I'd like to earn this income, I'd like to be able to weave baskets, you know, all these sorts of ideas. And we get together and discuss the intersection of what the reality is that they have, what their goals are, and how to slowly, if not ideally quickly, move to that. Video time limit, I don't know, I think the first session I would love to try to do maybe a half hour or an hour and just see how it goes and kind of work out the kinks technically, see if the feedback is such that people are into it. if you can FaceTime, would I walk the property and show you the site? Ralph, that's a good question. Yeah, the last consultation, or the consultation I'm currently working on with a really nice guy in New Jersey, we just used Facebook video, and he was on his phone and I was on this laptop, and I was able to see his site and give him feedback. And I think that's a pretty interesting way to go. It's the first time I've done it, but it really did feel somewhat immersive to be able to have him move through his space and say, okay, stop here. Let's look at these trees and a strategy for cutting them down, converting them into biochar, various yields, how to address new garden beds. So that's a possibility. Backyard blessings. Do you have a Patreon account or some other ways folks could help fund this kind of work? Thank you for asking. A few people have asked if I have a Patreon account. I don't think I'm going to do that. For better or worse, I allow ads to run on my YouTube videos, and there are enough views coming in that it's not a lot of money, but it's enough to make it worth my while. And people find my YouTube videos and then often buy plants from my nursery. I would say it actually accounts for about 80% of my sales. So you folks have been really good to me in just watching the videos and being interested in the plant material. I don't think I need to ask for more money from you in general. And I think with the consultations, by no means would it be a subscription or you have to pay to come in. I would just say if you want to kick in $1 or $2, that would be great. But I want it to be accessible to everyone. Let's see. Rachel, that's fine that you came in late. It's long and rambling. You can rewatch it and then scroll through for sure. And yeah, if you wanted to email me with your site and what you're doing, then I could see what to be helpful with. And Kirsten, that's cool. Yeah, maybe I'll open it up over time to a wider range, but for now I'm looking for folks that are lower limited income and interested in this as a concept. So I don't want to repeat myself too much or take more time from folks, so I'll say if there are other questions or ideas, I would love to hear them now, and then I'll wrap it up, and you can always just watch the video later on and offer up your comments there, and I'll plan another event with someone once we find a really good fit. Sagi Suzy, I'm glad you found this useful for sure. And I also want to say at this point, I really appreciate all of you watching the videos and giving me feedback and asking questions. The channel's really grown in the last 2 years. It's been really exciting developing it. And there's something very sweet about the community. It feels like a lot of the videos I put out, I'll see comments from the same people, and it really does feel like I'm involved in an actual community. So I really appreciate all of you being there and watching these videos, for sure. Terry, are you keeping the nursery open? Absolutely. I'm sold out on a lot of plant material right now, but once we get done with spring shipping, we'll get growing a whole bunch of stuff. And Dawn, would the consultation be a one-time thing, or would it be an ongoing back and forth? Sure, it could be an ongoing back and forth. I think I would start it with just one consultation with one person and see how that goes. Maybe it ends up being during the winter months something that we do relatively regularly. Hello from Central Jersey. I grew up in Northern New Jersey. Nice to see you. Have you had a chat with Paul Gouache back? I don't know. And Ralph, I'm on your website and looking at the garden design and installation. What are your fees for this? I ask for $50 an hour for my time, and I'm open to partial barter, sliding scale, and those sorts of things. I would like to hope that that's a reasonable rate for the experience that I have. But again, the whole point of this idea is to make sure I can also offer up to people that cannot afford that free or very low cost consultation. Um, cool. All right. Well, we've got 50 people on here. That's wonderful. Thank you all for watching. Um, I don't want to go on and on, so I'm going to wrap it up here. And what we'll do is we'll leave it that I'll look for some emails from folks that feel like they could be good candidates. And once we've hashed that out, I'll present more information about another event for one of these live sessions or what it's going to be. And we'll take it from there. And in the meantime, I'll keep putting out my standard videos. I'm not trying to change the format of this channel in some dramatic way. I just thought this would be a value add to offer up to folks. And thank you so much for watching and being part of this community. I hope you all have a lovely day, and we'll see you soon. Let's see whoever the last comment is. Kirsten Whitworth. Sean, this is a great thing you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's really been lovely to offer it up, for sure. My wife, Sasha, just whispered, if people have more questions, I should stay on longer. So I'll stay on a little longer.
The soup's not even hot.
Oh, the soup's not even hot, so there's no rush. I'll say this. I don't have any more big announcements at this point, so if you've watched this far and you feel like you get the gist, by all means, have a great night. If you want to stick around and ask a question or two, I'll hang out for a few and would love to do that. Let's see. Lolita's Garden. I'd appreciate if you saw my YouTube videos on my space and left your thoughts on my concepts. Thank you. Cool. I can do that. Lolita's Garden, would you link here to your YouTube channel so other folks can see that too? Thanks, Kirsten. I'll look for an email from you. And hello, Evelyn from Ireland. I'm glad you like the videos. You're growing miscanthus. Very cool. You got your trees labeled with soda cans. That's awesome. Back to Eden, Paul. Yeah, I've heard of that fellow. I've watched a few of his videos. They didn't do it for me, but that's okay. To each their own. If you're finding that they're useful, that's wonderful. Cool. Well, thanks, everybody. I hope you all have a great night. And unless there's any other questions or comments, I'm off to taking a shower after a day of chainsaw work and having some dinner with my lovely wife, Sasha. And we'll see you soon. Do you have any tips for an earthworm farm? Nope. Sorry. Good luck. YouTube. See if there is any good stuff on there. Okay. Take care, everybody.